Facebook.
Follow us on Twitter. INSiiGHTS.
Yeah.
2 I's in the middle. INSiiGHTS.
All right, y'all.
All right, y'all. Y'all know what time it is. It's show time. What's up, my coach?
Oh, Rick Brown, always the man about town. What's up, my brother?
Man, if I was any better, I'll be you.
Oh, don't take my line. Don't take my line.
Hey, hey, look, good coaches and good teams, what do? When something is successful, they just copy it.
I can't, Rick, I can't even argue that at all. Man, how things going with you?
Man, I'm just trying to learn from you, man, for real.
Oh, Lord, there he go, boy. Just shove it.
Look out, y'all. Man, I'm excited, man. It's a beautiful day. I mean, this is why I moved down to Florida for weather like this. And the whole day has just been beautiful. And now we're gonna end it with this show. And I can't wait because oh my goodness. I can't wait for this show.
What got you so hyped on this one, Rick?
Well, the topics for one. And I'm sure you're gonna run them down. And then I heard a guest is supposed to come on with with us tonight. And if this guest comes on, I hadn't heard this guy's voice in a long time, and he gets me real hyped. So, I mean, Big Bang Hank may be in the building, and if Big Bang Hank is in the building, oh my, we gonna do it tonight.
Well, if he's in the building for true, but you never know, buddy. He always makes them commitments, and then oh man, I forgot. Oh. I said, man, I sure hope you ran that Rick's athletic department better than
Ow! Pow! 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 Gotcha.
that's why it's so hard sometimes to put down the people that are really supposed to be with you on the show, because it doesn't take but once or twice. I mean, then people say, man, I thought so and so was going to be on. So we tend to go back and change it on those occurrences when they start to commit, and they don't. But as you know, in show business, they always say the show
must go on. Yes, sir.
So one of the things we're going to talk about, we're going to kind of review some, bring you some updates on some of the young student athletes that have been in our program. We're going to talk a little bit about HBCU situation and the young men that have signed free agent contracts. We're going to give you an update on what's going on in the NBA playoffs to see actually what your thought is on it. If you got if you got somebody you like, you don't like, I'm all things Cleveland, and I'm Cleveland quiet. Just like they left quiet as a mouse, that's just the exact same doggone thing I had to do with leave quiet as a mouse. What can I say?
I love LA. We love it. Oh, I love this show.
Oh, listen to you. Well, first thing, I have to give a little congratulations again to Sarah McCracken, one of the young ladies, one of our first Dr. Arthur Woodard Award winners. She won it. I think she won it 3 years in a row. Then she went to Vanderbilt. They wanted her to walk on the basketball team, but she decided against it, said that, she wanted to concentrate on her classes, of which she graduated in about 3.5 years at Vanderbilt. She's now back home, pre-med major. She won't be home long. She's going to medical school. Then we have another one of our young ladies, Lanaya Lee, who's been involved with a lot of the things that we've done. She's been a character in our freshman movie that we're still waiting to release, still sitting on it. She's been involved when we had our sites, where we had the students giving different opinions of what was going on with COVID. She's always been supportive, been a part. She's helped broadcast some games. She just played Delta, so she got the right colors.
Okay.
Least, and she's getting ready to graduate from UCF.
All right.
So we're proud of her. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
She's done well, and those are a couple of the young ladies that have kind of stayed in touch and have done well academically at that next level. Now, on the other hand, we got a young man that you probably saw play at the Matt Clayton Memorial Basketball Tournament from Thomasville. He was a 10th grader then. Clifford Davis could shoot the ball deep. He was the zone buster for Coach Ben Tillman. And when they kept extending the zone, he kept backing up. He kept backing up. I said, Coach, who is that kid? He said, Coach, that's a 10th grader. And ran into a few problems. He ended up going to Chipola when he finished, got himself straight because he was academically straight. People just went to sleep on him. And now he's going with our friend, Rick Cabrera, over to Northwestern State. They just signed him, and he was a kid, didn't really want to leave too far from home, so he's going to be over there.
All right.
I've seen some video of him, some highlights. He's learned, he's matured, he's grown, he handles the ball better. But good Lord, he can still shoot it. Oh, can he shoot it? So, congratulations to him. We wish him continued success in his career as he ventures on and goes over there with Rick Cabrera at Northwestern State. And he's going to be, beyond a shadow of a doubt, an impact player. So we're really excited, and we're glad to be able to bring you some updates on some of these student athletes and what they're doing. We're just proud of the accomplishments that they make. And we always say that it's extremely difficult for student athletes to be able to be successful on the court and off the court, because the sport itself is so time consuming, and they can never ever forget the essence of them going to school, which is to get their grades.
Yeah.
Now I got another story to bring you. Just if Earl had been on, I would have let him break it. But Marcus Riley from Ricketts High School had 3,500 yards passing at Ricketts. Recruited. He was the number 67 player in the state. He was a top 100 kid. He had offers from Central Florida, South Florida, Southern Miss, Kentucky, FSU, Mississippi, Nebraska, Florida. He went to Louisville. Stayed 1 year. Transferred to Bethune-Cookman. He just graduated, has a year of eligibility. Come back home to finish his last year at Florida A&M University Rattlers with Coach Willie Simmons. He had a game last year against Prairie View. He had 9 receptions for 167 yards and 2 touchdowns. He was Bethune-Cookman's leading receiver. He can get it done. He's a little special.
And who said you can't go back home? It's good to come home sometimes. That's okay. That's all right. And I think Fam is missing the receiver. I mean, lost the receiver to eligibility and to the NFL. So that's there's a spot open. That's a good pick. Good look for him. Good look.
Good look. Good look.
Hey, shout out to Miss Gracie Jones up in the DMV. Hello, Miss Gracie. Thanks for joining us, Miss Gracie.
And we appreciate you, Gracie. He needs a young woman to come on here and get him some support, because the rest of them coming here really get it.
Yeah. Hey, sports diva. Right on cue.
Right on cue. Right on cue. Hey, and before we even get to the NBA, let's go Warriors. I hear you. I hear you. So it's again, it's really pretty exciting time right now. But again, that young man, Marcus Riley, going to coming back home is going to really be something.
Yeah.
Well, we see how we look out for you, Gracie. You put some comments in here. We go on and show you love. We show you love. Rick, I see the legendary. He's walking around. He still hadn't learned to get in a spot and do a broadcast. He got to walk around the house and then try to come on.
That's your boy, though.
Into a spot. I'll bring him on. Oh, started something. There goes Sports Diva. The Suns and CP3.
Wow, a lot of basketball in here.
A lot of basketball, right?
Love it.
We got some NBA people speaking up on their teams and the teams that they like, or dislike. I really enjoy that.
Yes.
Okay, so since we're getting that feedback,
we'll go for it.
Thank you. You read my mind. There's On Time Earl. That's what I'm gonna call him, On Time Earl.
The man, the myth, the legend, ladies and gentlemen, live from Tallahassee, Florida, Earl Hankerson.
Mick, Rick.
Oh no!
Hey, my favorite reporter's favorite reporter.
That's it.
Hey,
That's it.
Rick. Why this man come on the show choosing violence? I don't understand. All this gun violence we've been talking about, and he pulling out Uzis and 12 gauges and everything. I don't understand it.
Man, he's just trying to keep you on your toes, man.
Look, man, it's easy when a joker retired. They can talk all kinds of noise. I'm just trying to make a living. Hey, look, you see how I'm dressed? I just finished pressure washing. We try to make a living around here. This man,
we got to do it.
Violence.
Well, look, we're in the no violence zone right now, man. So you're good. You're good. You can be safe.
Kid, put the guns away. Put the guns away.
Yeah, I got him. I got him covered there, boy. I'm telling you, I got him covered.
Hey, for the record, America, and all these other 93 countries, that's on Roku. Anytime that I don't come on, a brother is hard at work. Okay, all right. So we ready to go though. Let's.
See when you start like that, when you got the controls over here, you can go ahead and silence. You can silence the foolishness.
Wow.
Just push the mute button, and that stops all of that.
Yeah, stop the violence.
we can stop all that right now. Rick, what you got for us? What you got new for us? What you got for us? We didn't know.
Okay. So look, let's start with this one here. On Sunday, I was just mulling around, and I ran across a documentary called Kobe, The Legend of the 81-Point Game. Did you guys seen that? Or even heard of it?
No.
They had players like Smush Parker, Brian Cook, Devin Green. You remember that Laker team for 2 or 3 years after Shaq, where they were just horrible with these players? But they also had some Toronto people, Coach Sam Mitchell for one, and was just talking about that performance. The Lakers were down 18 points in the second half. Kobe had 26 points at the half, and then just went on a tear the third quarter, scored 27 points in the third quarter. They said, Coach Mitchell said they tried to box him one. And Coach, you would appreciate this. People said, well, why didn't you double him? Coach Mitchell said, we did. We doubled him. We triple teamed him. We tried to box him one. We tried to triangle in two. We sent bodies at him. We sent Chris Bosh, Joey Graham, Jalen Rose, Mo Peterson, Mike James. Nothing worked. Kobe just got in that zone, and the rest is history. 81 points, second most points in NBA history. But at the end of it, what really really caught me was a couple of quotes he had. It said, "You are responsible for how people remember you." That was one of the quotes. And the second quote was, "The most important thing is to try to inspire people so that they can be great in whatever they want to do." And that just topped off that performance for me. That really just it got me. Typical Kobe, where you hear afterwards just not how selfish he was on the court, but how motivated and how singular minded, how he wanted to win. And that competition, that competitiveness in him really stood out. So that was one thing, coach. The second one was kind of crazy. You guys know that many pro teams have a strict dressing policy during games. NBA players' jerseys always have to be tucked in. NFL is so strict, it even goes down to their socks.
Right.
But did you know that Major League umpires have clothing rules as well? They are required to wear black underwear during games. So if they split their pants, they wouldn't be ashamed.
Get
True
out.
rule.
Wow.
Wow, Rick.
I just chuckled when I saw that. I just was like, okay.
Wow. Hey, Sports Diva, I'm gonna put up your disclaimer in place after that one. See? Wow, that's a good one. Now there's a lot. Thank you for those. There's a lot out there with Kobe, and they talk about a lot of the stuff when he was with the Olympic team,
Mm-hmm.
and situations where they were in Las Vegas training and everything, and everybody was really just kind of hanging out, but everybody getting ready to go to the club. Kobe getting ready to go out. And they like, where you going? He said, I'm going to work out. And they like, okay. So everybody go and hang out. When they come back in, Kobe done worked out, went to sleep, got up, and sitting at breakfast, getting ready to go work out in the morning. So all of them started hanging out with Kobe because of the precedence to date. I mean, what he was doing.
Yeah.
So Kobe just always has that going on. Now somebody sent me a link, and it was about it's about the playoffs, but it was about Jimmy Butler. And they talked about Jimmy Butler. Yeah, Gracie, we were all caught off guard with that one. They were talking about Jeff Teague was the one being interviewed. And he was talking about Jimmy Butler when he was at Minnesota and he was playing for Tibbs, the head coach for the Knicks. And Tibbs was, Tibbs is a hard nose. I mean, he kind of, they say he burns his players out, but he ain't burn them out when he played Cleveland. They went on and drilled us. But they were talking about how he had came to practice. He was in a contract dispute, and he was coming in stretching. Everybody else running laps. He's sitting on the side stretching. They going through drills. He's sitting there chilling. He says, all right, scrimmage. They jump up. There go Mark. They jump up, right? And he said, I'm on scrimmage. So he gets up. He got his practice stuff on, and he had cut out the Minnesota Timberwolves off the middle of his shirt. He had cut the Minnesota Timberwolves off his britches. So he went shredded stuff. And so they called the starting five out. So I would play it, but it's so much cussing in it. Butler is like, I'm not playing with them. I'm playing with them. And so he points over to pretty much the guys that weren't going to make the team. They were like the G League team. So they had 3 teams, right? So he took that team and drilled the starters and cussing them out. You know how they play basketball now. He talking buku stuff. Right? So the first team is like, they lose, so they got to beat the second team. So they wanted a rematch. They said, no, you got to beat the second team. So they beat the second team, and they looked to get the rematch. My boy was gone. He was gone. So they said, look, y'all got to see. he had called one of the ESPN announcers and was doing a live interview about how they need to pay him his money and they can't win without me, and how I took the scrub team and just drilled him They said Jimmy just called him out, but the way he had went off on him and went off on Teagues, it was funny. Talking about Teagues getting nervous and his hand starts twitching, and they said hand about to come off his wrist is twitching so much.
You know, Jimmy Butler is an interesting cat. I mean, during the regular season, Coach, I mean, you don't really hear too much about him. And then the playoffs comes, and it's like he clicks the switch. He flips the switch, and Earl, he just like goes crazy. Playoff Jimmy.
Yep.
He just loses his mind and like, yeah, I can do this. I can be first team all NBA if I want to. I'm just waiting for the playoffs.
Goes
And
bananas.
kills him. Whoever, whenever. I've never seen someone. They say you make your money in the playoffs. I know, but I've never seen another player switch like that consistently. Not just 1 year, but it seems like he's just going through the regular season, la 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 la, and then playoffs. Bam.
Get me in the tournament, and if you think about it, he's playing with more undrafted players than anybody else, and he's doing exactly what he did in Minnesota during that practice.
He got 7 undrafted players, you know,
Yeah.
and doing a great job. Hey, we hear you. We hear you, Mark, for real.
Chemistry.
Doing a great job with him. But see, a lot of teams don't want to deal with Jimmy, but coaches like to hire players that they can handle. They don't like to have a guy on the team that they can't handle. And that's part of Cleveland's problem. But in Miami, he doesn't have to worry about that because who he got sitting on the bench? Udonis. And he was about to fight Jimmy Butler last year during the game when he got into it with the coach. So Udonis, they pay him pretty good to be the enforcer. And
that's it.
He will always have a job in Miami.
Oh, absolutely.
That's right.
Alonzo Mourning got one.
Zoe, funny. Zoe, Georgetown, what's happening? I claim him.
Hey,
I claim Zoe.
I need you to see another one that was sent to me here.
Hey,
Okay.
Scott, when that hot sign come on, I don't care where you're going, your car gonna start going that way to that hot sign. That is not safe at all.
Oh, look at that car. Hey, listen, you don't even have to chew that thing. It just melts.
I know it melts, but it's just average. Like Dunkin' Donuts and all those other places are good donuts. There's no better donut in the world than Krispy Kreme.
How much time do we have? Because I can't just sit here and listen to him.
Not without donuts.
I just cannot listen to him talk about that excuse for a donut called Krispy Kreme.
Oh, your excuse?
Yeah. That is a pedestrian donut. That is a very pedestrian donut. You got to go to a small mom and shop pop to get you some real donuts. And like Schneider's Bakery in Westerville, Ohio.
Let me tell you something. Clark, when you're driving down the street.
Just because they got a light on and the donuts are hot.
Exactly
Just
right.
because the light is on and the donuts are hot doesn't mean it's a good donut.
You can be driving down.
It's a good donut.
I'm not going to lie. When I see that light, we're going to do this. Hey, Scott, when that hot sign come on, I don't care where you're going, your car gonna start going that way to that hot sign. That is not safe at all.
Oh, look at that car. Hey, listen, you don't even have to chew that thing. It just melts. I know it melts, but it's just average.
I normally don't disagree with Clark Kellogg. I normally don't disagree with Clark, but he's totally off base here. I mean, Krispy Kreme is just, I don't want to call it something I've never had, but it's so addictive. It's just, and like whoever said, I don't know if it was Kenny or Bart, who said it just melts in your mouth when it's hot. And they're right. Whenever I drive by and that hot light is on, I don't care if I'm late for something. Well, I'm gonna be late anyway. Skirt!
You could do a 3-point turn on the other side of the highway.
He said 3-point turn on the other side.
Hey, police officer saw me do a U-turn where I wasn't supposed to and came up behind me. Sir, what's going on? I said, officer, I know, but I saw the hot sign on at
Hot
Dunkin'
sign.
Donuts. And he was like, really? Let's go. Follow me.
Cut across the median.
Right. But Earl, you missed out talking about Marcus Riley coming back to FAMU. Tell us what impact will I have on our football team having him back? You know him firsthand.
His name is Marcus Riley. Ain't nothing else left to say. No, the guy. I mean, I've known him since he was a little kid. When I was coaching his brothers, and we think Mark is good. You should have saw his brothers. Oh my goodness, they were amazing. But I've known that kid for such a long time. First and foremost, so excited that he's graduating, getting his degree, and he finished with a 3.0 GPA. And so that's the most important thing for me. But going to be very exciting to see him at home in front of his family, who's going to get an opportunity to see him play. And just really, he's going to be a showstopper. He's definitely going to be a difference maker.
Well, tell people what he does, his position, and what he does, what he's electrifying at.
He plays receiver. He's on the inside. He can play outside as well, but he pretty much can do everything. There really isn't a whole lot that he can't do. I would imagine we'll see him in multiple packages. You may even see him returning some kicks. You'll probably see him. There'll be some razzle dazzle. I'm pretty sure he'll be a part of. The kid is absolutely. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry, because I don't like calling them kids anymore. The young man is absolutely amazing. He's a really strong young man, very talented, and Rattler Nation, we're gonna be in for a treat. It's amazing that they couldn't use him properly at Bethune-Cookman, but with the quarterback that we have and the other weapons that we have, it's really gonna be pretty special.
Compare him to Xavier Smith.
Well, now you're talking about two different players now, because they had a lot more wiggle, but he's much smaller. Marcus is a bigger.
Okay.
He's a bigger.
Xavier had more wiggle.
Wiggle, yeah. He's a bigger receiver. Not much bigger, but he's a bigger, stronger type of guy. But he can do so many things with the ball. He's just very dynamic. That's going to be the word of the day. When we talk about Marcus Riley, he's going to be dynamic. Somebody posted, well, he's not better than Xavier Smith. And I immediately responded, we don't need him to be. We need him to be the best Marcus Riley he can be.
Right.
So, it's going to be dynamic, Coach. Everybody wait and see. Rattler Nation, wait and see.
I need you to comment on another person that you missed, and that was a young lady that we're proud of, and her graduation from University of Central Florida, who was very instrumental with a lot of things that we did. She took the opportunity to be involved with a lot of things with INSiiGHTS, and that would be Lanaya Lee.
Yep, Lanaya Lee. Really proud, really proud of Lanaya. I had an opportunity to hang out with her for a little bit a couple weeks ago, and she's a very special young lady. She's going to be going into medicine in her post in the next phase of her education, and so pretty soon here one day she'll be Dr. Lanaya Lee, and so really excited and happy for her and her family. She comes from a really good background, mother and her father, so really happy for Lanaya.
Okay. As you could tell, we had a real good relationship with our Ricketts High School students at one time, Rick. You could see that.
A little bit.
We had a good relationship with them. Mm-hmm. Gentlemen, let's uncover the elephant in the room. I've heard from both of you offline a little bit about your perceptions and your feelings about what's going on or what's happened with the lack of players that were from HBCUs that were selected to go in the draft. And even in Zing, somebody made a comment that why is everybody fussing about the lack of HBCU players getting drafted? You still had over 17 that got NFL contracts. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, the difference in that is like a walk-on football player and a recruited scholarship football player. It's as different as night and day, you know. And I'm going to share my thoughts with both of you, but I'd like to hear your thoughts on what's going on in the NFL and HBCU and what your perception is. Earl, I'll start with you.
Yeah, I know some people they're definitely gonna disagree, and they may not like what I'm gonna say.
And when has that ever stopped you before?
It doesn't. I've been there before.
Yeah.
No, you know, for me, it's not about HBCU players not being drafted. Okay. When we're talking about FCS players not being drafted, in contrast to the FBS, and there's levels to it. Obviously, we're clearly seeing that there are only 10 players that got drafted out of FCS. So this is not an HBCU problem for me. This is an FCS problem. And then when you move on up the line, when we talk about the difference between Power 5 and Group of 5 conferences, there's another issue because that's another layer there. If I'm not mistaken, there were only, I believe, less than 35 players drafted from the Group of 5. So when you playing in the FCS and Group of 5, as the young folks say, you best be prepared to get it out of the mud, because you're gonna have to pull yourself up and really go improve yourself to be worthy of a spot on one of these NFL teams. And so I for me, you know, and I even look at larger schools. Hell, Florida State. You know, you talking about Florida State University, only one player drafted from Florida State. So I'm not concerned about the HBCU players not getting drafted. Anybody who gets that call, whether it's draft, free agent, whatever it might be, you better be ready to go if you're going to play in that league. And so that's my take on
it. Okay. And to add some context to that, to what you were saying, Earl, of the 10 players that came out of FCS, is out of 259 picks. So 249 picks were from the FBS. And only 7 of those 10 picks came on day 3, so the 4th round or later. Last week I was in my feelings, and I still am in a little bit, because I feel the NFL puts on a pony show when it comes to, we got to do more for the HBCUs and putting on these clinics and all. And then when you see the draft and what happened there with just Isaiah Stinson-Bolden getting picked, it stings a little bit. And so I was very disappointed. But after I came down off my feelings and started thinking about it, I do agree with you in a sense that it's a talent issue. That we know that most talent comes from the FBS and more specifically the Power 5. And if players had a choice between Power 5 or anywhere else, they would pick those Power 5 schools. So while I'm not as disappointed as I was, well, I'm not disappointed as I was. Still a little bit in my feelings, but I understand more, because the NFL stands for not for long, not just for the players, but for coaches, GMs as well. So they have to pick the players that they feel that's going to help them succeed. So it's a business. It's a business. But what's to say? Don't tinkle on me and say it's raining.
Yeah.
That's my only thing. Coach?
Well, so many of the rules and things that are put in place are for the Power Five conferences anyway. The NIL was going to put a lot of smaller schools behind the 8 ball, and it was going to be to your advantage to go to the Power Five schools. Power Five schools wanted to secede from the NCAA, and we've talked about it here. And even now, if you're at a smaller school, how many times do they come in and recruit your kids? And they leave and go, and they tell them, like they told Isaiah Land, you were not, look at Marquise Bell. He didn't get drafted, and you a player of the year. You probably won't get drafted either, and they were correct. He didn't. And the thing is that a lot of the research that we did leading into the show last week, there were a lot of players that they thought were borderline draft picks in the 5th and 6th round that didn't get picked at all. Now, I'm always thinking it's a conspiracy. That's just how I'm built. I'm just thinking conspiracy. So I'm just thinking that all of that is another tool that they use when they recruit these kids. If they can play, don't go such and such, because you won't get a chance to play at the next level. Or if they go to Texas Southern or Jackson State or Florida A&M, then they'll go get them if they start to develop anyway. I'll never forget a basketball coach told me when I was coaching the men's team at Florida A&M University. He said, Coach, it doesn't make sense for you to spend a lot of time trying to recruit these upper-level kids because, one, you can't pay for them, and we're going to walk in right off the bat and buy them. We're going to walk right in off the bat and buy him. So Florida A&M isn't going to get that kid because we're going to buy him from under you if he can really play. And they spent a lot of time recruiting 7'1" Jerome James, trying to get him to transfer. And his mother had went to Florida A&M and said, Coach, don't worry about it. He's going to stay there. But his words were, when I came out of high school, Florida A&M was one of the only schools that gave me an opportunity to play. He said, now I'm good enough I can play anywhere. So I need to be able to stay with the one who gave me a chance when nobody else would. So we look at that, but I mean, if you don't get drafted in the top 3 or 4 rounds, I think it does you better to go as a free agent. And your ego kind of works, but you want to get drafted. You got your friends all around and everything. But at the end of the day, it doesn't work to your advantage. You need to be able to put yourself in a position that might work well for you. Right. Did you have something on that, Earl, you wanted to share?
No, I agree. Because now in those later rounds, there are a lot of guys that don't make the squad. And that's because these undrafted free agents are better. But when you can get the undrafted free agent for less money to benefit your organization, that's what you're going to do. It's no different than my side business. If I can come in and underbid somebody, I'm probably going to get the job.
Right.
Same thing. And so, those guys that are undrafted, that's not a knock on your talent or on your level. It may be a business decision for the organization to bring you in at less money. I look at Xavier Smith, his situation going to the Rams. Okay. Now we know that the Rams, one of their assistant coaches, was hired from the fellowship from FAMU. Okay. So now he's going to be pitted, I would think, against Tutu Atwell. I would imagine. Well, if Xavier can beat Atwell out, he's able to do that at a lower price, which is going to save the organization money. And so it's all about business at the end of the day. These guys, though, I wish them the best, and I have nothing but faith. And I do believe that Xavier and Isaiah are going to be productive and make both of those squads. I really do. And so that's my take on that. But I think you're right, Coach. You're probably at a advantage coming in as an undrafted free agent than if you get picked up in the 5th, 6th, or 7th round.
Well, Coach, let me elaborate a little bit on the guy you just spoke on, and that's Xavier. When you look at like Dana Brugler and his Bible that he does with all these players, and under the wide receivers, there were more names under the wide receiver roster than any other position. And Xavier was ranked like 225th. Then they had the HBCU Combine. He runs a 4.3 and shoots up the chart. Now, what do you always hear? That no matter where you go, they're going to find you. That's not necessarily true. You know, in certain places you go, they don't even go to look at those to see if they can play. You know, for him to be ranked that low, then all of a sudden somebody comes up and says, oh, he's running a 4.3 40. That might be a surprise, but when you look at his production wasn't a surprise. But then they say that it's based on what he's done against different competition. You know, Jerome James, he won because he played against Auburn. They had 3 7-footers. Jerome James is walking around hyped up. And I said, boy, what is wrong with you? I hear you, Mark. Dance was the one that brought you to the dance. I mean, they're sitting there and he's hyped. I said, Jerome, what are you so hyped about? He said, Coach, every time I play, they double and triple team. Auburn has all those big boys. They're going to put them against me one-on-one. They're not going to double and triple team me. I'm going to be able to do my thing. And he did. He had 26 points and 15 rebounds. We were within 4 points of Auburn. We had to take Jerome out to get him a rest. And by the time he got some water and turned around to sit down, they were up 12. And he looked at me. He said, Coach, I can't sit long, can I? I said, no, you can't. And that's where he won his money. And when they see our guys play, they don't even evaluate us against Jackson State, against Bethune-Cookman.
Right.
You know, they want to go see what we did in North Carolina when you played Miami. That's the only thing they measure you by.
I think that's a disservice though, because you can only play the people that are on your schedule. Number one. Number two, everybody is not going to get that opportunity immediately to play against those Power 5 programs. And so now what you end up doing.
But Earl, Hank, before you go too far, they blame your administration because you don't schedule those teams that they could play.
Right.
I get it, but you can't play them every week. Miami sucks. Okay? They're terrible. So I could go out there, and have a great game against a terrible Power 5 team, and now all of a sudden I'm ready. Now I'm on the radar. Now I need to be looked at. No. Listen, 3,000 yards is 3,000 yards. That's or whatever it is. That I think that's a disservice, and they need to do a better job of evaluating. So in that case, they need to look inside at what they're doing as opposed to who you're playing. Yeah, think about it, Coach. Isaiah Land, Defensive Player of the Year in the FCS, and couldn't get drafted. Well, what the hell the point of the award for?
I told you before. Now the award is based on what he did in college.
Correct, but that's the players are getting drafted based on what they did in college.
Oh, now that's a good point.
So yeah, that's like the Heisman Trophy winner not getting an opportunity. You know,
Charlie
and
Ward.
we've seen that before. We've seen that before.
Yeah.
So
now, if you look at the list of players going up there, now, Earl, I know you've looked at it. Is there a name that's surprising you that's not up there?
not that I can recall. I can tell you. I can tell you this.
Average. Your tight end.
I was gonna say that big tight end from Cookman.
Big tight end from Cookman.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. I can tell you this though. I was surprised that Mark Evans didn't get drafted because linemen don't come a dime a dozen. Not like skill guys.
The number one HBCU player that they projected to get drafted was Isaiah Land. Number 2, Mark Evans.
Yep.
Number 3, Aubrey Miller.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And none of those 3 got picked up.
Right. Now I was glad from a Dolphins fan standpoint that we got Aubrey Miller. I think that's gonna be great. I believe he's gonna make the team.
I believe he is.
Yep.
I believe he is.
So yeah, I thought that was a good pickup. But no, you're right. Yeah, those top 3 guys, and much like Rick said, I was kind of a little bit in my feelings as well because I said, damn, out of 259 picks, 5 guys can't get drafted. But after looking at it carefully again, 10 players from FCS, how dominant has North Dakota State been? And they only got one guy drafted.
Yep.
How dominant have they been? And they can only get one guy. So again, it's not about I don't know why HBCU has been singled out. Well, I kind of do know why, Coach, and you alluded to it, the conspiracy. But no, it's FBS and FCS.
And that's what they're saying, that the FCS sucks. The players there sucks.
Yeah.
That's what they're saying.
Hey, until they don't anymore, Rick, until they make your team.
Until they make your team. Exactly.
And then you realize how good they actually are, which goes back to me.
They receive good coaching. That's
that's what it is. Okay. Gotcha.
That's right. That's right. The narrative.
We
the
just
narrative changes.
We keep moving the goalposts. You're absolutely right.
But Rick, your neck of the woods picked up 4 of the HBCU former athletes as free agents. Baltimore got 2, and Washington got 2. And the only quarterback that was taken was from Bowie State.
Well, that's in the neck of the woods. That's in Maryland, so I can see they have contacts there. Both franchises have contacts in not only at Bowie State but at Morgan, I'm sure, and Virginia State and the CIAA down there. So that doesn't surprise me that they're giving them an opportunity, or they're using them as camp bodies.
Well, Rick, what is the narrative to you in your vision with the black quarterbacks now?
It's changed. I think in some ways it has changed from where black quarterbacks couldn't think. They couldn't think well enough to play this position. But it's changed. It hasn't gotten to the point where they look at Lamar and say he's a true quarterback. There's always something with it. Well, he's a running quarterback. and that's why they didn't want to give him the money. But if you look at the list, I mean, there's about 10 quarterbacks who will be starting who will be black this year. And if that's not the record, that's about tied for the record of number of black quarterbacks who will be starting in the league. this year with someone's coming behind them. I don't know if Jacoby Brissett is going to start. Richardson, the rookie from Florida, I don't think he's going to start. At least not right away. So,
not if he want to have a career.
But if you look at the top quarterbacks in the league, the upper echelon are black. Yeah, you have the kid from Cincinnati, and you have Rogers still, but the two quarterbacks who were in the Super Bowl, Jalen and Mahomes. Your boy Deshaun Watson, before all that mess, he was considered a top quarterback. You still have Dakota in Dallas. My boy who was at Russell Wilson is still a top quarterback.
Let me stop you for a minute. You made the comment about Lamar. Now, is the issue that they say Lamar can't throw, or is the issue that Lamar's injury prone? Silence. That must be crickets.
No, because he runs, but that's the system that they put him in too. That he runs.
Changed the system for him.
Hey, coach.
Coach,
he wouldn't have to run. He wouldn't have to run so much if you give him some receivers to catch the damn ball.
Or gave him an offensive line.
Line. Hell, he running. He running for his life.
I mean, he's the leading rusher for the daggone team. Whoa. Oh, there he goes. I thought he popped off. I thought the NFL got you.
Yeah.
I think he is. No, Lamar is. I think he's labeled as that. I still think he's labeled as that, coach. And I think they look at a lot of the quarterbacks, Justin Fields, as a running. The first thing they say, a running quarterback, and not a quarterback.
Yeah.
Well, they don't call Deshaun a running quarterback. He's mobile, but he doesn't take off and run like Lamar. Lamar's kind of special. He's a slighter version of Vic. You know, Vic was electric.
Man.
The first black quarterback picked number 1.
Oh, your boy Gavin, he just made a good one there. He said system dictates that he runs.
Yeah,
I like that, Gavin. That's a good one. That's a good one. Mark King, when you ask about the cell number, man, I'm not in the studio, so not being in the studio, we couldn't hook up the cell phone, but I got you. Now that we don't have a cell phone, people want to call in. We're going to try to get it up and running next week because this would have been a good one. You can call back in next week and comment on today's show. Don't let that hold you back. The first part of the show, we spend time going back over the previous shows. So that's what we do. But you only had one black quarterback from HBCU get picked. At the end of the day, you always were under the belief, that the best players are going to play. And people's jobs are on the line, and they're going to get the best players so that they can sustain or achieve a certain amount of success.
Mm-hmm.
But you just so many things that happen, it really makes you wonder if that's really a true statement now.
Well, when it comes to money, the high price quarterback is going to play until he sucks. Like the Skins back in the day they drafted Heath Schuler, and they drafted the guy Gus Frerotte in the 7th round, and midway through the season, it was Gus took the job from Heath. And even though Heath was like the 4th overall pick,
yeah,
and that GM got blasted. I don't know if he lasted there. and so usually the high price guy is going to play dollars and cents.
Well, see, speaking of GMs, and I'm going to change sports all the way because it's Mick and Rick.
We do that.
But
it
the
happens.
GM with Cleveland, you can't all of a sudden tell me that it just dawned on you this team is soft. You can't tell me that just dawned on you with the way they played the Knicks, that they just all of a sudden got soft. Case in point, Jared Allen hurt his hand last year. Remember? On the rim. He missed 12, 13, 14 games. Hand out like he was broke. He ain't want to go in there and play. He didn't want to go in there and play. So it didn't all of a sudden get better for him. Mm-hmm. I tell you all the time, and Mark King, I got you. I understood and I will. We look forward to you calling. But I got a grandson. Competitive as hell. Throw a fit when he lose. He don't want to talk to you. He pissed off. But now if he beat you, he'll want to celebrate. He want to be all in your face, pointing at you and talking they're running his mouth. And my daughter said, Daddy, I don't know what we need to do. I said, don't need to do nothing. Mm. Leave him like that. I said, we'll calm him down a little bit, but you much rather have one who it matters to than one it doesn't matter to one way or the other. I said, that's genetics. That's in him. I said, I like him like that. But I said, because if it hurts to lose, then you do whatever you have to do to win. If it means you got to take your ass out there and practice all day, you'll get better.
It's easier to calm them down than you can't make them hype. You can't make them tough.
I had a point guard like that, Brenda Fogel. And we played Florida State. They had a young lady over there named Lisa Foglio. She was from New Jersey. Brenda was from D.C. So how I get Brenda to play against FSU, I couldn't do it the day of the game or the day before. I got to get her like 2 or 3 days out. Brenda. They say Foglio the best guard in the state of Florida. Who the best guard? Who the best guard? I'm the best guard. She ain't better than me. She ain't better than me. And my assistant, bless his soul, Ralph Coleman, would sit there and say, I see what you're doing. She come in and we play Florida State, boy, and we thought I hit that bank shot. She pump fake step on. She hit that glass and she go back and point at the girl and jump to her. The girl had said nothing, but we get her going. But it meant that much to win. Mm-hmm. And the Knicks now, let me ask this. What's the most interesting series outside of LA and Golden State?
I'm gonna go Boston and Philly.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
Especially with Embiid now being the MVP.
Yep. And Boston coming off the championship appearance last year.
And losing game 1 to Philly.
Yeah.
Embiid got to play tonight. I'm trying to get this dub.
I bet you he doesn't play.
I wouldn't be surprised.
You know why I think? Because they got what they wanted. They got a split already.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
They not looking to sweep them, but if they want, that's what you do on the road. You at least get a split, then you get them back in your place.
Give them a couple extra days of rest.
Go up too.
Yeah, that's what you want to do, but they're gonna try to give him some more rest. I think.
Yeah,
I could be wrong, but that's just Mickey Clayton's view on it.
Yeah.
Sports Diva say the Nuggets and the Suns.
Wow, I'm surprised at that series 0-2. I mean, once they got KD, I was sure that they were the front runners. But Denver has just been consistent all year. That's why they're the number 1 seed in the West.
They don't have any depth. You got no bench.
They haven't needed it.
They let them play like they playing in the playoffs. They don't need depth. They ain't calling no fouls, so you can roll with it.
And Joker is Joker, and Jamal Murray is back now, 2 years removed from his injury. And that Michael Porter, he's playing out of his mind.
But he's always been talented. He just
had he had skills. He had skills, but it's clicked for him. Those three, there's something to reckon with. Good gosh.
Well, see, I like it. Miami and New York. That's an old school rivalry, there, boy.
Knock down, drag out.
Ain't it?
They showed some highlights from Miami. The Knicks always get the best of Miami. They showed those old highlights last night.
Embiid is playing.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, G.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I'm not. I think it's the right move. If he's healthy and you can get 2, go get it.
Yeah,
I mean, go get it, huh?
And Doc Rivers needs he needs a good victory.
Yeah.
He needs one.
Yeah. Did Harden turn back the hands of time on him?
I think he told you what. I think he's been just giving it off to Embiid. He said, I can do it anytime I want to, but I got to play nice. I got to play nice.
He doesn't do it in the playoffs, though.
Oh, well, yeah, especially game 7s. Yeah, the later the series goes, he goes down.
Rick. Yeah. Hey, coach, I gotta run on this point, but Rick, me and Coach was watching the other night, and I said, no, good shot.
Good shot.
And ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate y'all being with us tonight. We'll be back next week, but we appreciate you being with us. Those fans over there, we will be back to having our call-in number worked out. You can call in, make your comments. We cannot wait to get y'all on the show. We can't wait.
Indeed.
We appreciate you, Earl the Pearl Hankerson. And Earl, we always appreciate you.
Thanks, Earl.
Never.
Yes, sir.
Stay up to date with the latest from INSiiGHTS. Visit our website at INSiiGHTS.com. 2 I's in the middle. INSiiGHTS.
INSiiGHTS is a copyright of Mac4 Enterprises, a Florida corporation. This broadcast is produced under the exclusive ownership of Mac4 Enterprises. It is the intellectual property and trademark of Mac4 Enterprises. Comments of the host and other individual speakers on INSiiGHTS represent their independent thoughts and representations.
Your attention, please. Stay up to date with the latest from INSiiGHTS.
We appreciate everybody being with us tonight, but do like we gonna do. If you're not already, like Gavin, already watching the game, we get ready to go watch it right now.
Subscribe, hit the button, subscribe. You won't miss us.
Tell them, Rick. We appreciate that. Rick.
Yes.
See you next week.
Peace.